welcome everyone to another Everflow webinar. I'm your host, Isaac Mayer, and today we're going to be talking about partner and advertiser postbacks. So as always, we're going to be doing an introduction into what we're going to be talking about. So that's going to be introduction to me. We're going to talk about postbacks, kind of what they are. We're going to talk about creating and pulling a postback, how that works. I'm going to give a brief masterclass into parameters and macros. We're going to talk about troubleshooting postbacks. And we're going to talk about Everflow Pay, which is a feature we came out last year that our clients have had tons of success with. We're going to talk about some upcoming events, one of which is today. And at the end, we're going to do a question and answer. As always, if you do have any questions, you can put them in the right side of your screen, and we'll answer them at the end. And I just want to confirm one more time that everyone can hear me. I'm not exactly sure what was happening. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. And without further ado, let's jump right in. So as always, we're going to do an introduction to myself. My name's Isaac Mayer, if you haven't met me yet. I am a customer success manager with Everflow, and I've been in affiliate marketing for 6 years. I am based out of San Francisco, California. Fun fact number one, I like to keep it fresh. I love to play guitar. I originally started playing, it was about 5 years ago, out in Japan. I was traveling, got a little sick, and the place that I was staying at had a guitar. And I've been playing ever since. Fun fact number two, I took a ping pong class in college. Pretty fun class, and I got pretty good at ping pong. So just an interesting little fun fact. But let's jump right in and talk about Postbacks 101. That's why we're all here today. We all want to hear about Postbacks. We can talk about ping pong another time. So what is a Postback? Great question, everyone. And let me just, yep. Okay, sorry. Just want to make sure that I'm backstage. Okay, fantastic. What is a postback? A postback is really just a URL that sends data. Some people call these pixels, but essentially this URL has the ability to determine an action and use the information being passed in it and give a response accordingly based on the information that was given. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about what that actually means and what that looks like. But the two postbacks that we're going to be talking about today are partner postbacks and advertiser postbacks. So your partner postback, that is a postback that your partner will provide you. That is essentially what we use to fire the information from the conversion back to the partner. The advertiser postback, that's something that will be created in Everflow. This is something that you pass to the advertiser, that when the conversion happens, that information is fired back to Everflow, so we can take it and fire it back to the partner. So just pay attention because this is going to be a little intricate, but I'm going to go through exactly the whole process of how postbacks works and how a conversion is attributed to a partner. So first, your partner is going to pass you that partner postback. You'll put that in the Everflow system. From there, you'll grab a partner tracking link, which you will give to your partner to place on their platform. Now, your friend Jerry comes along. This is one of your customers. He'll click on that partner tracking link, at which point they will be redirected through Everflow, where we'll capture that click ID and create a transaction ID. Your friend Jerry will then be passed to the advertiser's platform. That will be the base URL that is within your offer. From that base URL, from that advertiser platform, now we've tracked that click. We've had that information in Everflow because we've set up the postbacks correctly. Now it's time to see if a conversion will occur. If that conversion does occur from the advertiser's platform, because we've passed our advertiser that advertiser postback, they'll fire that advertiser postback that'll pass the transaction ID over to Everflow. We'll capture that and any parameters, macros that are also passed. We'll then use that partner postback that the partner provided us or you and fire that partner postback so the partner can track the conversion within their system. Essentially, through that whole process, we've created a system where we're tracking any granular information that we want, which we'll talk about parameters and macros in a sec. But the real meat and potatoes is that we're tracking that conversion, and your partner is getting credit for that sale that they referred. So how do we actually create, pull, implement postbacks? So like I said, your partner will give you a postback for their system, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can implement that. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick. And I'm going to share this right here. Okay, so now you can see the Everflow dashboard. I'm going to copy this real quick just to show you how I got here. Click cancel. So we're going to go to partners. We're going to go to postbacks, and we're going to click add a postback. So here we're going to want to have our postback set to active so that it'll actually work. We can set a description if we like. We're going to choose a conversion postback for today. We're going to choose global. We're going to choose the partner who's passing us this postback, choose the delivery method as postback, and enter that postback URL that our partner has passed us. It is important to note, just so we make sure that the postback works, that when you add that postback URL here, you'll need to ensure you have a spot to pass the click ID. Without this, the postback will not work. And then we can just click add down there. Fantastic. I'm going to, once again, stop sharing my screen and share a different tab. So let's talk a little bit about the advertiser postback now. We need to have a postback to pass to our advertiser. So I'm going to zoom in a little just so you guys can see this. So I guess first off, we want to go to Control Center, Platform Configurations, right here. And from here, we'll be able to find that global postback. Just zoom in so you can see it right there. So this is the postback that will pass to our advertiser so they can fire back to Everflow. I'll stop sharing this. Okay, it's time for one of my favorite parts. We're going to talk about parameters and macros. So parameters and macros, that's how we pass information between the tracking platform and all third-party platforms and systems. This will include in-house systems being used by our partners and advertisers, as well as some popular attribution and tracking platforms commercially available in the market. One thing to note is that every platform does have its own name used for dynamic parameters. We'll talk about that a little bit in a sec, but it's just very important that you're using the same names for your parameters as the advertisers that you're working with. So getting into the parameter and macro setup, kind of like you saw just a moment ago. So we have the parameter here. This is the system used to carry information. And we have our macro, which is a placeholder where we'll insert the payload with a value into the parameter it's associated with. So I'm going to stop sharing and share an article from our help desk that just shows you some of the options that we do have for parameters and macros. So as you can see right here, we have a ton of different options. So these parameter macro combos can be passed in partner postbacks and offered URLs. But we can get just about as granular as you like to make sure that we're passing the right data. So this might look like currency. We might even check device brand. Google Click ID is something that I've been talking a lot about with people lately. But essentially, we have a bunch of different options here for how you can pass this data. And then we'll talk a little bit about formatting that correctly in just a moment. But please do note, your customer success team is always here to help you whenever you like, if you do ever have any questions about this. But our help center is also a fantastic resource if you ever want to find something on your own, or if you're interested in learning more about the platform. We've very painstakingly gone through all of these articles and made them the best they can be. However, if there's ever anything you can't find, just let us know and we'll be sure to add it. But yeah, check out the Help Center if you ever need anything. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to talk about troubleshooting. So this is another one of my favorite parts. Anyone who's ever dealt with postbacks or setting up these attribution systems knows that it can be a little bit finicky sometimes. That's why we need to make sure that everything's working properly. So we're going to talk about three main things today. That's going to be formatting postbacks, using the correct parameters and macros, and then making sure your advertiser postbacks are working correctly. So first, let's talk about formatting your postbacks. Oop, no spoilers. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And let's go to this guy. Okay, so here's an example of a postback right here. This is fantastic, but there can be some and here I'll zoom in actually so you guys can see this. Okay, there we go. But there can be some issues that might make this impossible. So especially when you're having postbacks passed from your partner, it can be easy for there to be some typos. One thing that I see sometimes is a lack of a question mark. So we need to have a question mark following the slash after the domain. Another thing that's caused significant issues would be like an extra space. So if I just press that space bar right there, and this might be really difficult to see, especially if you're not digging into this, that space will cause this not to work. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Additionally, we want to make sure that all those parameters and macros are correct. Let's say, I'm maybe having a long night and I forget that there's an O in transaction. That will also cause the postback not to work properly. So making sure, I guess one of the first steps to take when a postback isn't working might be to just make sure that everything's formatted correctly. There's no typos. Let's check out one of my favorite things here. We have this cheat sheet. So I'm going to stop sharing that. And let's check out our cheat sheet right here. So, okay. So another big thing, kind of like I mentioned, since each of these platforms has might use different terminology for different parameters and macros, we want to make sure that they're correct. So here on once again, our Everflow help desk, we've created a guide just to make sure that your postbacks are formatted correctly. So you can see here, let's take a look at, how about, hit path. Hit path might use something like agent ID XX. So when we are setting up that partner postback or really any step of the process, we need to just make sure that we're using the this agent ID XX setup. And it kind of follows with all these different options as well. We just need to make sure whatever we're referring to for transaction ID, we're using the same terminology both for the advertiser postback and the partner postback. So that's a huge thing to check. Like I said, this guide makes it super easy just to make sure that your partner postback is formatted correctly and that your advertiser postback is formatted correctly. So that's another thing I'd check just to make sure that everything's on the same page. Let's see. Finally, I'm going to, let's just go back to the presentation. So when we're talking about testing the advertiser postback, there's a couple things to verify. One of the biggest things is you want to make sure you're passing the transaction ID in the base destination URL, and that your advertiser is properly returning that information from their side. So just once again, you need to include that transaction ID in the base URL. So that's another huge thing to check. If you've checked these three things and it's still not working properly, maybe check the help desk, but you can reach out to customer success as the issue might be a little bit more intricate. But these are things that we talk about every day, that if you can get through those, then you'll have significantly less issues. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Everflow Pay. So this is a payment service that we came out with last year that our clients have had a ton of success with, and it's really unique. So Everflow Pay allows you to automate generating invoices and payments, and it is actually the only payment method that is automated at partner signup. So this is the only payment method that'll show a warning bar on the top of your partner's dashboard if they haven't input their billing information, and are not payable, so that they can implement that. Ultimately, you're not going to have to waste time chasing them down so that they'll input their information. Ultimately, this creates a seamless partner payments onboarding experience. If you are interested in Everflow Pay, maybe you want to use it, maybe you even just want to learn a little bit more, you can contact support at pay.help@everflow.io or reach out to your customer success team, such as myself, and we'll be more than glad to tell you about it. Like I said, our clients have had a ton of success in improving efficiency, and giving partners a better experience, and much more. So we'll be more than glad to chat with you about it. Okay, where in the world is Everflow? So we'd love to meet you. Please come say hi at one of these events. Today is the final day of PI Live in Miami, Florida. Come say hi there if you happen to be in that neck of the woods. On April 23rd, we have Affiliate Huddle in Brighton in the UK. And on May 14th, we have our Partner Pro Tee-Off in Miami, Florida, back in Miami once again. So thank you so much for joining us today in this webinar. If you do have any questions, and I can see there's a few over here, I'll be more than glad to answer them. Please do note, though, our customer success team, once again, including myself, is always here and available for one-on-one questions and feedback, if you do have anything that we can help you out with. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to get my pretty face back on camera. All right. Okay, so let me move my microphone out of the way. Thank you. This is a ton of fun. And let me just look through these questions real quick. Thank you all for joining once again, and we'll see you in the coming weeks. Please do keep an eye on the Success Trackers community. We'll always post new webinars there.